Hey, welcome into Hold My Banner. If you love this show, first of all, thank you. And we love you too. But make sure you check out Foxborough Rush on Nesson as well. George Balecki and I get you ready for the NFL Combine. Check us out. Foxborough Rush can be found on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcast. All right, here we go. We're holding banners around here. Come on. Banner 19, loading. Travis Thomas, Ountae Campbell, the walking, talking, triple-double, loading, and we're here. Download it. See what I did there, Tay?
I did. What's up? What's up, TTs? How was your weekend, bro?
It was good, man. It was good. I was home alone during the weekend.
Okay.
Wife and kids out of town. And a good friend of mine shot me a text. He said, hey, man, still home alone? I said, yeah, like Macaulay Culkin. I went like this. He said, okay, I'm going to pull up. I got some drinks. I said, what? Come through. And then we partied. That person, the walking, talking, triple-double Ountae Campbell.
You know what I had to do, man. And I also, pulled up on the Knicks game. We'll talk about that as well. Knicks Celtics. I can't wait to talk.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. By the way, as someone who is hated on the Luka trade to the Lakers, I mean, I'm not trying to say that it's working, but it's working, Ountae Campbell. I'm just saying, I know it's early, but Luka and the Lakers, it looks like it's working to me, bro.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
He does not want to entertain it. All right, let's start with Celtics Knicks, the game you were at, and that will lead us to a bigger conversation about the Knicks. We'll get to the Celtics, obviously. It's Hold My Banner, but I want to make fun of the Knicks first. So you were at this game. This game was at TD Garden. Was it Sunday afternoon? If I'm not mistaken, it was like the afternoon game on ABC, I think.
Yeah, it was Sunday afternoon.
All right.
1 p.m. Eastern time start. Yeah, we got some pictures and videos here straight from my phone camera.
There we go.
You got Kat here shooting some jumpers before the game. You got Peyton Pritchard here in a second. Oh, Josh Hart, here he is, getting ready for his return. This is his first game back after a while. And Peyton Pritchard, of course, working on defense in pregame because he's a menace like that.
Of course.
But yeah, Travis, it was a fun game. The TD Garden crowd was insane. They were they were rapid, dude. They were ready to go. Right. When Tatum missed that dunk against OG Anunoby, dude, the arena, I thought the ceiling was going to come off. The way everybody was ready for him to make his statement for MVP with that dunk right there was insane. So it was a great game, no doubt about it.
I think he's made a bunch of statements for MVP, to be honest with you. Not that that wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
But I don't love how Tatum's not getting any love for MVP, although at this point, and we've talked about this, feels like a foregone conclusion. SGA is going to be the guy, and then you always have Jokic, who you can make a case for him to be it as well. By the way, I brought up Luka off the top, Tay. We will talk about Luka and the Lakers later on in the show, but let's lock in on the Knicks here, the game you were at. So the crowd was electric, as you said, and then you proceeded to be correct again. I don't know how you've done this all year. Every time we preview Celtics Knicks, I always take these close games, and I'm like, it's going to come down to some heroics by Jaylen Brown or Derek White or, of course, Tatum.
Right.
And you're always like, yeah, no, I don't see it. I think they're going to beat them convincingly. Here we go again. I want to throw some numbers at you because I couldn't even believe this when I saw this, Ountae. The Knicks are 26-6 against teams below 500.
Yep.
Okay. 11-14 against teams above 500. Okay. I mean, I kind of get that too, right?
Right.
It's not terrible. You're only a couple games below 500, but I can't really knock them.
Yeah.
The big one is 0-7 against Celtics, Cavs, and Thunder. You just can't have it. You can't have it, Ountae. It is clear to me that this is a contender, not a pretender. The Knicks are Fugazi. It just is what it is. I mean, you can't even argue it. If I'm a Knicks fan, I'm furious. One of the reasons I'm furious is because how long it took you to build this war chest of draft capital. You spend it on Bridges, and it's just not working. Against bad teams, he looks good, but against these, one of the reasons they're 0-7 against Cavs, Thunder, and Celtics, real contenders, is because Bridges disappears in these big games, Ante.
Yeah.
The game you were at Sunday is no different, brother. No different.
What I watch is when they play against these teams who have the ability to do what they can do, which is switch at least 1 through 4.
Yep.
I won't say 1 through 5 because Cat has been getting torched on the perimeter.
He has.
But, when you play against these teams that at least switch 1 through 4, the Knicks offense is just terrible, stagnant, praying that Cat and Jalen Brunson can bail them out, and a bunch of weird back downs, crab dribbles. I don't know, like, have I ever played basketball before or have I ever been the man on a real team before?
No.
It's a lot of that. And it's not disrespect to those players because I'm not blaming OG. I'm not blaming Mikal Bridges for that. I think they have the ability to make plays. Who it comes down to is Coach Tibbs. And people are going to tell me, oh, Knicks have one of the better offenses and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I hear you. But Travis just laid it out to you. 21-6 against teams under 500. 11-14.
Wow.
7 of those losses against 2 or 1 of the top teams in the East or Western Conference.
Right.
So this team's offense goes away, which is why they're getting blown out after blown out after blown out in these losses. It's not just 7 losses against the top teams. They're not competitive.
Yeah, they're getting
Opening
smacked.
night, I thought it would be competitive. Not competitive. They're getting smacked every single time out. And it has to do with the fact that I believe that when it comes down to it and you say Tibbs versus Missoula, you say Tibbs versus Cavs head coach, you say Tibbs versus Thunder head coach, you sit there and you say he doesn't have the X's and O's to beat these guys. He just doesn't have it. So shout out to AC, shout out to Missoula, shout out to Coach down in OKC, but it's just bad, bro. Like the Knicks don't have it.
I would throw Doc Rivers in there too, and the reason I bring him up, I would take Doc Rivers over Tibbs right now in a playoff series. Let's say one of the as far as X's and O's, Ante. One of the reasons I bring them up though, the Bucks. I'm looking at the Eastern Conference right now in terms of the seeds.
Okay,
I think there's not a ton of basketball left to be played. I'm going to give the Cavs the 1 seed. They're also just playing well. We've talked about this ad nauseum. It is sustainable. We said that from the beginning, the way they played. They got better at the trade deadline with DeAndre Hunter. So, I'm giving them their props. I think they'll be the 1 seed. Not that it matters. Celtics will be the 2. Not that that's a big deal. Right now, the Knicks are the 3 seed. I think they're going to get hawked down by the Bucks. I would bet right now, the Bucks catch the Knicks. And they're the 3 seed in the East, and that would put the Knicks at the 4 seed. And listen, I just saw a tweet. I tried to write his name now. I couldn't really see it on the side panel here. I think it was Nico tweeted that Brunson gave up 100 M's for this roster. And it's not really funny because I feel for Knicks fans.
Yeah.
They did everything right. They came from the depths of basketball hell. They have rebuilt this team. Really, it all started with hitting the lottery, quite literally, with Jalen Brunson. The Mavericks being dumb. Tell me when you've heard that before lately, right? And letting this guy walk, and the Knicks are like, "Yeah, we'll take that, thanks." And so,
shout out Nico Harrison,
and they've absolutely shots fired, and they've done a great job building around Brunson, and Brunson has done a great job sacrificing for the roster, and that's why it's not really funny. I respect what they've done. But, man, I mean, for this roster to not quite be there, and remember, as the season wanes, they lose guys. Guys start going down. We're already seeing Cat leaving games, coming out of games. Then he's back in there. You're like, he's clearly not 100%. Who is on that roster? It's just not working, Ante.
Yeah. Look, where I have to be fair is no one's 100% at this part of the season.
No one is.
No. In the league.
But it's worse when you have a coach. That's kind of my point. No one's 100%, right?
Right.
I'm not saying it needs to be Club Med, Ante. I'm not saying guys could come in and just have drinks with umbrellas in it here.
Yeah.
But the smart coaches pay. You know this from playing on teams.
Yeah.
You can't run these guys ragged when you're at this stage of the season, to your point, when you're already beat up.
Yeah.
He doesn't do – their coach no matter where he is, runs guys into the ground. That's my issue today. He should be letting off the reins a little bit.
Yeah. I guess where I wanted to go with this conversation as a whole is like, we've seen the Knicks now. They won't have an opportunity to face against any of those teams that we listed, Cavs, Thunder, or Celtics, until April 2nd. They got 2 more matchups with the Cavs. They got 1 more left with the Celtics after April 2nd, some days after that. But how far can this Knicks team go at this point? Like, are they a first round out? Are they a second round out?
No.
What are we thinking here?
I would say second round. If I'm right.
Okay.
I'm just projecting here.
Yes. You see them as a 4 seed, and so that means you think that they'll meet up with the Cavs.
They'll host the Pacers. Well, first round.
First round Pacers, yes.
They'll host Pacers or Pistons.
It could be. Or, Magic can still come up. There's a lot of time.
We'll get to them later.
They're only 4.5 games back of the Pacers. There's still some basketball left to be played.
I got some thoughts on the Magic. I don't see the Magic going upwards. Let's put it that way.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so Pacers or Pistons.
And they can beat both.
Okay.
So I'll
second round.
Yeah, and then second round, you're running into Cleveland.
Cavs.
You're losing.
Okay.
They're a second round team.
They've only played them twice. They did get smacked.
Yeah.
In both games. But they've only played them twice. So, we don't know. We'll see in April when they face off again, April 2nd. Will they be ready to face off against the Cavs? I'm right there with you. I want to believe in my heart, just like how I told you during the last episode, that the Knicks team is going to claw and fight and do the things that we saw them do in the playoffs last year, right?
Right.
And I want to believe that they'll do the same against the Cavaliers. This isn't a knock on the Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers are a much better team.
Sure.
But I do think that the desperation that the Knicks played with and showed us in the playoffs means something, you know what I mean, coming into this year.
Yeah.
Do I think they're going to beat the Cavaliers? No, I don't.
I don't either.
But I think that it could be a little bit closer of a series than people are thinking. I think that would be a 6-game series. Are you thinking 5? You're thinking sweep? I'm thinking 6. Cavs move on. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I listen, you can't knock them, but so much in terms of heart, defense. They're going to be a tough out no matter when they go out. Even if, listen, I could be wrong, bro. The way the Pistons are playing, if you told me the Pistons actually win a first-round series and beat the Knicks.
We'll talk about them in a second, too.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be shocked.
Right.
And then, obviously, maybe I know you don't like the Pacers, but if the Pacers, given what they did last season going all the way to the Eastern Conference, if they can, I don't know, I know, but just hear me out here, okay? This is for the sake of the combo, because I don't believe it either. And I was Mr. Pacer, if you remember.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I know, but again, if you told me they figured it out and they beat the Knicks in the first round, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would just
shocked. I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would bet on the Knicks to win that first round series, and then regardless. Yeah, sure. They could go 6 or 7. I would still take them to lose to the Cavs. I would. I just think, and it'd be a great series. But
that's my only thing. I think people are in the camp of fully disrespecting this team.
No,
first round exit type of team. Even if they do get a second round sweep, you know what I mean? Maybe gentlemen's. Yeah. And I just don't see it that way. I think in a playoff scenario where the Knicks can focus offensively and defensively how to attack a team, and they know that they got at least 4 opportunities to do so, they're going to fight and claw, and they'll win 2 games. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fine. But what does that get you?
Nothing. You're right.
And those fans in New York, are
you
kidding?
Nothing. You're right.
Again, think about this. The draft capital you gave up for Bridges, the money Jalen Brunson left on the table. That's why I bring those things up. It almost feels, you feel lost. You feel like, you're way behind the Celtics. Way behind. Now the Cavs have leapfrogged you.
Right.
Come on, bro.
But here's my thing before we move on. Look, can you blame Tibbs? Because everyone's talking about Tibbs, blah, blah, blah. And I even just said, Tibbs, your offensive schemes aren't good enough to win these games, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about when you got the starters in. I'm talking about when I'm watching OG Anunoby in and Mikal Bridges and when they're doing that.
Right.
What I did notice during that game is, bro, like, can you blame him for their team not being elite when we talk about the depth of the Celtics, the depth of the Thunder, the depth of the Cavaliers? And he has Miles McBride and Cameron Payne and Precious Achiuwa coming off the bench. Right. I mean, we've been waiting on the Knicks to make moves to help out their depth. They went and got rid of depth.
Yeah.
To go get Cat. And we said that at the beginning of the year, how that was going to hurt their team. And it has been. It has. You know what I'm saying? When are we going to see Mitchell Robinson? When is he going to be healthy?
When do we ever?
Hold on. We can't blame Tibbs for Mitchell Robinson. No. Mitchell Robinson has been stealing money from the Knicks for years.
Facts.
So my only thing is we have to give him a little bit of grace and their team a little bit of grace because their GM has done a terrible job of providing them with depth and stars. They're the New York Knicks. It's a big market. They shouldn't have any issue getting stars when they got one on a deal. Yeah. You know what I mean? They got an all-star on a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then traded away a bad asset for them. Yep. Not saying a bad player, but a bad asset for them in Julius Randle and got back a positive MVP candidate in Cat. You know what I'm saying? So now, next offseason, because I'm already looking forward to it for them.
You have to.
They have to go get depth. That's it.
You have to look forward to the offseason. You're 0-7 against the three best teams in the league, Celtics, Cavs, and Thunder. I think that says it all. And for everything that they gave up that you just ran through, for you to be 0-7 against the top teams is just unacceptable.
Right.
Now, Larry Bird ain't walking through that door. The Bad Boys Pistons ain't walking through that door. Mm-mm. However, in 30 seconds, Ountae and I will lay out to you why Celtics Pistons 2.0 is pretty interesting. Stream the entire Red Sox season with a NESN 360 annual plan. It's available at an all-new reduced price of just $20 a month. It's paid annually for a limited time. You get free 4 tickets to Fenway with your purchase. Visit NESN360.com to sign up today. All right, Tay, I'm calling it Celtics Pistons 2.0 because the Pistons have stunk forever, it feels like.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, honestly, when I was a kid, they were kick-ass with the Bad Boys, and then they won the title when I was in, like, a little bit older with Ben Wallace and all them. How old was I then? I might have been, like, high school back then. And since then, hasn't been great. However, here they are, Tay.
Here they are.
Cade Cunningham and the Pistons. I think Celtics Pistons 2.0 is a cool way to look at it. The rivalry is back.
It's back.
I guess they have to win for it to be a rivalry.
The Pistons do have to win.
They got to win.
But, you know, they do have a streak going into this game, a 7-game win streak going into this game.
They play tonight.
Celtics are on the edge of a back-to-back, you know what I'm saying? So at the end, on the second end to a back-to-back. So this could be a possible Pistons win here. And it could be a possible first-round matchup. I know we were just, laying out those matchups, but with the Celtics sitting at the 2 seed, which we think they're going to end up landing at, right? So. We don't think the Cavs are going to catch them. I mean, the Celtics are going to catch the Cavs, but the Pistons are in the 6 seed. I see the Magic, and I'm like, the Magic could possibly get up there. You know, they had a slide, but also the Pistons have had points in the seasons where they've slid as well. Just because they're rolling good now doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. And there was a time when the Magic were rolling really good, and it didn't stay that way, right?
No, that's facts.
These are two teams that could be battling for the 6, 7, 5, whatever seeds. So they could end up in that 7 seed. Easily. They're only like 2.5 games ahead of the Magic right now, which would put them in that 7 seed.
Yeah.
So you could see a 2-7 matchup with Pistons and Celtics. But we'll talk about this game. Travis Thomas, what do you think is going to happen in this one? Do you have a prediction for me?
I mean, I'll be honest. I want to talk about both. Let's talk about tonight's game, and let's talk about a potential first-round matchup, because I personally, I don't know how you feel about the Magic, coming up or not, or the Pistons dropping down. I actually think this will be the first round. So let's start with tonight. Look, I'm going to give the Pistons all kind of props here, because I have seen them win however you want it. I've seen them win like track meet, high-scoring games where Cade goes off. But then I've also seen, because when you think Pistons brand, you always think defense. At least I do.
Yeah.
And so I've seen them win like rock fight, ugly games. So I like that about them. They have a certain toughness to them, and that's what that tells me. We need to play defense, low scoring, bloody nose, fist fight, lunch pail type game. We can do that.
Yes.
But we also have the talent to run up and down the floor with you if we get into that as well. I don't know, man. I still sort of think whenever the Celtics are at home, it's just I can't trust it, or the Pistons or the Celtics are on the road. I don't know if I trust them sometimes.
Yes.
Because sometimes the Celtics feel like they get bored. Whereas the Pistons, this is a huge game at home for them.
Yes.
They're putting all their eggs in this basket. The Celtics are just like, if they come in to send an example, Tay, they can blow out the Pistons.
Yeah.
Even all those nice things I just said about them, they can blow them out.
100%.
But they may look at the Pistons like, I mean, you guys are cute, but it's not that big of a deal to us. If that's the case and you let the Pistons hang around in this game, I actually could see them stealing it. I could.
I'm going to go ahead and say
they're in a win streak.
I'm going to go ahead and say it, Travis Thomas.
Are you going to give me Celtics blowout?
This is my first time on Hold My Banner. We've done a lot of pregame previews for the Celtics, talking about who they're going to face. I've given you score predictions.
You have.
I've been right. I've been wrong.
You have.
I've been all over the spectrum, right? I'm predicting the Pistons win.
Oh!
I'm predicting a Pistons win in this one. And it has nothing to do with the champions. I think that they're a good team. They're on the second night of a back-to-back, as I told you. This has nothing to do with how I think they're going to play in the playoffs, what I think is going to happen in the series if this happened in the playoffs. This has everything to do with the fact that the Pistons have played this team tough, and they have played this team multiple times where at the end of games, they're like, if the Pistons just closed the right way, they probably could have won that game. And I think as they're on this win streak, feeling good, facing the team once again on the second night of a road trip back-to-back where they go from Toronto to Detroit, which isn't a far flight. But I am predicting, Travis, that we're going to get a Pistons win because they finally figure out how to close a game against the Celtics.
Oh, man. I don't think
it's not hate. I don't want anybody to think I'm hating. I'm not. What I foresee.
It's not hate, and I'll defend you on that because you've called the season. You've called this Pistons team, and you did a great job with it. I laughed at you.
You did.
Let's never forget.
Yo, for sure. Called me crazy.
I'm going to go the opposite end here, buddy.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe we need to clip this and play it in the next.
And it's not obviously. I can't foresee the Celtics blowing them out. I'm right there with you. They could easily go out there and dominate. We've seen them do it before.
Again, and it's the mentality. What are they going to show up to Detroit with on the second leg of a back-to-back?
Right, and I also have seen this same Celtics team take teams lightly in the second half. The last two games that I went to in person, the Spurs game and the Knicks game.
Yeah, facts.
They were up big.
Yeah.
And they kind of just, we supposed to win. And they let their foot off the gas.
All right.
And both teams made it interesting at one point. I think on the road with a Pistons team that's ready to take the jugular, we know that Derek White and Cade Cunningham always have their battle. One of them's dunking on each other. Other time they're blocking each other. They have their battles. I think we're going to get a Cade Cunningham either electric block or dunk, and it's just going to shoot that energy into the Pistons saying, hey, we're here and we're ready to beat the champs and show everybody that we're a legit team. We're really here.
I'm shutting all this down. Celtics 121, Pistons 113. I think this is a night. I think they're going to hear you. I think there's going to be a lot of pundits out there, a lot of geniuses, a lot of experts. Hey, man, this Pistons team, they're at home, big game. They're a tough out. They're learning how to close. Okay. And you know what's going to happen? 3. Another 3. 121, 113 Celtics.
I got you.
We got to clip this off.
I'm going to go 116, 114 Pistons.
Oh, a little Cade Cunningham game winner, little floater in the lane to win it.
Yes, 114, 116.
All right, I'll go 121, 113 Celtics. Tatum, brah.
All right.
Tatum goes off. Now, we're talking about all these great players. Mm-hmm. Oh, but actually, I didn't ask you about the first round matchup.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk about
Celtics in 5.
Yeah, Celtics in 4.
Ooh. Yeah. How is it you're picking the Pistons to win this
game? It's a game.
I'm picking the Celtics to win the game.
Second night of a back-to-back. You have to remember that. Second night to a back-to-back. Sweep, though. Yeah, what are we talking about? Sweep.
I think
it's going to be that one game where the Celtics win 101-98. You know what I'm saying? But come on, bro.
All right.
Sweet.
Well, we're talking about all these great players. However, there is one player in college basketball that one of us thinks hoops savior. The other one of us thinks, nah. Find out who next.
Man.
Want to hear all about Boston sports? Check out Nesson's daily sports podcast. Boston has entered the chat. You too can enter the conversation by tweeting at us using the hashtag NessonChat, or you can always email the chat at Nesson.com. Boston has entered the chat is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, let's get into this because you and I have gone back and forth on this player. Mm-hmm. So we'll play a game today with that man. Stop me when you hear a better prospect than Cooper Flagg. Now, I saw this in our pre-production rundown, and I didn't even want to look ahead. I say, you know what? I'm so high on this Cooper Flagg guy. I mean, in my tease there, I said one of us thinks he's a hoop savior. It's me, okay? I think this kid is generational. If I were running a team, I would tank to try and improve my chances to get Cooper Flagg.
Yep.
Ountae, who will lay out how he feels about this kid throughout this segment, let's just say doesn't feel the same way. So this will be an interesting game between us. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, so we'll do a stop me when to get this started, right? Stop me when you hear a better prospect than Cooper Flagg, all right? I'm going to make it real nice and simple for you.
All right.
I got the number one picks.
Top number one picks, okay.
From the last 10 years.
All right, decade, all right.
And then I have one extra prospect that I will list off for you,
All right, let's do it together.
So, first, 2024, number one pick.
Yeah.
Zachary Ricochet.
I mean, come on, what are we doing? You better not. You better not even say.
Okay.
Okay, so we're in agreement.
We're moving on there.
Good.
2023, number one pick, Victor Wembanyama.
First of all.
Yeah.
I'd like to preface my comments by saying, Wemby, there is no bigger fan of yours than me. Ountae can testify to that. And I hope.
Where you going?
I hope your health gets better. And I hope to see you out there again soon next season. I will take Wemby. However, I have some concerns, as we all do, health-wise, and we're all praying for Wemby.
Who cares about that? Wemby will be fine. All right, 2022, number one pick, Paolo Banchero.
Oh, would you look at that? I think my aunt's calling me.
What?
Why don't you take it, Tay?
Yeah, hey, what? How are we feeling? Cooper Flagg or Paolo Banchero as a prospect?
I mean, Paolo, man.
All right, then.
Why are you making this like I don't like Coop, man?
We're just running through the last 10 years.
Yeah, but you're winning the argument.
2021, number one pick, Cade Cunningham.
Okay, this is a better comp. I'll take Cade, but Cade has had some injury issues. To be fair, we don't know if Flagg will have those or not. What? Don't make that face. You know as well as I do. The best ability is availability.
100%. Okay? But we don't
Cade's
know.
Healthy now.
Right
and
now.
He's balling. He's an all-star.
Yes.
We don't know. Coop may come in and never miss a game. He could be Iron Man. He could be Cal Ripken Jr.
Prospect.
What the hell do we know?
That's why we're talking about a prospect.
We're
talking about Oklahoma State days.
Cade.
Oklahoma State. All right.
Cade.
2020. First pick, Anthony Edwards.
Oh, man. Next.
All right. 2019.
Oh, man.
Number one pick.
Come on,
Zion
Coop.
Williamson.
Okay. Cooper
as a
Flagg.
prospect. No. I remember people talking about Zion like he was the next coming of LeBron James. He was supposed to be the next LeBron.
That boy
prospect.
He's so explosive. He broke the shoe on the dunk. You remember when he broke the shoe?
Come on. You going to tell me the hype around Zion was smaller than the hype around Cooper Flagg?
Oh, man. Damn it. Zion.
All right, then.
Give me one. I like Flagg better.
2018 number one pick, DeAndre Ayton.
Finally. I mean, I liked Ayton, though. But Flagg. Because he's more dynamic.
Okay. 2017. Now.
Okay.
Remember, prospect. Okay. At Washington, number one pick.
Oh, Fultz.
Markelle Fultz.
I covered him in high school.
That's right, DeMatha.
Yeah, Flagg had more hype. I was there, and I was living that hype, and I would still say Cooper Flagg.
You're right. The Markelle hype kind of took off at the end.
Yeah.
It was towards the end. All right, fine. 2016, number one pick out of LSU from Australia.
Oh, God. It was Ben Simmons.
Next, LeBron.
Yeah, his hype was crazy.
Ben Simmons.
Bro, I bought into that. Did you?
Yeah,
back then
I didn't. He wasn't LeBron. I knew he couldn't shoot like.
But just like he would be. Yes, I thought he was like Magic, kind of.
We weren't wrong. We saw it.
Yeah,
we saw it before the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young broke this man. Literally,
right.
We saw it. He was there. He was on his way to a Hall of Fame career. So it's not like we were wrong. We didn't know it was, that he would have the, the mental issues and the back issues or whatever.
Was crazy.
Right. But come on. 2016.
Out of all these guys, though, it was Ben Simmons. Out of all these guys, though, I think the best hype machine comp and kind of even stylistically sort of is Cade. I think Cade Cunningham and Cooper Flagg. Now, here's the only thing Coop still has time to do that Cade did.
Yes.
Cade took his college team. I mean, he was hooping in March Madness. They went on a deep run. I can't remember if he was like Sweet 16 or not. Mm-hmm. They might have been second weekend. I would have to go and look back. But I remember they certainly got out of the first round, and Cade was hooping in those games.
Yes.
On March Madness, which matters. And Duke has a much higher ceiling than Cade's college team did.
Yes.
Was Oklahoma State?
No, they sucked. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying Cade Cunningham's school.
Yeah, Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
they
Oklahoma
were trash.
State. Right. And Duke's team's really good. So Coop has an opportunity to take them on a deep run and sort of capture America's attention even more than he already has on that stage day.
Yes.
And I think we got to give him time to do that. We'll see.
We'll see.
But out of everyone you named, I think that's the most comparable.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Last two. All right. 2015, the last number one pick I'm going to ask you about. 2015.
All right.
Number one pick out of Kentucky, Karl Anthony Towns.
So listen, I'm going to go Coop here because, and I love Cat coming out.
Respect. Yep.
But the only reason I'm doing it is because all those Kentucky teams always had more than one prospect. Now, Cat was a guy, obviously.
Right.
But like you had your attention on other guys on the same team. This Duke team's very good. I know that the freshman guy you like that comes off the bench is ridiculous.
Isaiah Evans, both of those dudes.
But Coop's getting more of the love. So I'll go Cooper here.
Last prospect. That's fair. I'll take that. Last prospect, number 3 pick of the 2017 NBA draft.
Okay.
Behind Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
Behind Lonzo Ball. Jason Tatum.
Oh, Coop had more hype.
But as a prospect, who do you think is a better prospect?
Tatum. Because it was and in fact, that's probably that's the last one.
Yeah, that's it.
This is actually a really good transition to how you feel about Coop.
Yeah.
Because I do see your vision because Jason Tatum is a good example of that. Meaning Tatum was so fluid and just so natural that it made sense. You could see his game translating to the NBA. Mm-hmm. Now, at that time, you didn't necessarily think he would become the best player in the league, but you at least saw, or one of them, but you saw the ceiling. You saw where it was capable, where it was possible. Mm-hmm. It was really hard back then to poke holes in Jason Tatum's game and find weaknesses. I think with Cooper Flagg, and I'll pass it to you here because you opened my eyes to some parts of his game that don't necessarily translate to the NBA level. Not to say he can't improve on. Shooting's one of them.
Yep.
Creating his own shot, I know. You'll go deeper into this stuff. But some of those things can be improved upon. You're always working on your bag. These trainers got you working on moves and different things and skill sets.
Right.
And obviously, we know, being in this area, Coop being from Maine, that he has a work ethic. So he'll be able – we hear that about the kid. So he'll be able to add those things. But I think Tatum was further along than where Coop is now at that time. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. That is fair to say. Look, all right.
Oh, break it down.
Hold on. All right, you can bring us back in the 2 box as we divulge this.
Yeah.
Day. But look, I got to start here before I start talking about Cooper Flagg, because I need to understand how you think, right?
Okay,
And I need everybody else to understand. First question is Cooper Flagg a generational talent?
Okay, I say yes.
Okay. Second,
the deep breath,
the
sigh.
Second question. Second question is that if you add Cooper Flagg to a bad team, right?
Raptors,
whatever those bad teams are,
Wizards,
down there, right? Does he have enough to be a number 1 guy?
Ooh.
On a championship team in a bad organization?
Like you build around him.
Right. Is he LeBron?
Right.
Is he, you know what I mean? I won't say Spurs are a bad organization, but
no, I got you.
You know, Wemby.
I understand the question.
Is he Giannis?
Right. If he's on the Pelicans, can you right. I guess that would be with Zion, right? If he's on the Wizards,
right.
Can you build around him and make them a contender?
And he's the guy.
And he's your
guy.
number 1 option.
He's the guy. Yes.
I would say yes, but I would say there are levels to that answer, meaning it's probably faster to take the Spurs with a Wemby, build around him, and get to a title where he's the man. It's probably a faster track.
Okay.
Do I believe Cooper Flagg can be built around in the same way Wemby can and eventually become the man on a championship team? Yes, I do. Will it take longer? Yes, I do. I don't think I think there are levels to even being generational. You know, I think there are guys who can, and this is, by the way, every sport, but I think there are Patrick Mahomeses of the world.
Yeah.
Who are just so naturally gifted, almost innate ability in the pocket. He doesn't even see things, the no-look passes, all that mess. And then there are guys like Jalen Hurts who just beat him, who, hey, it's going to take me a little bit longer. I'm more of a film weight room guy. I'm more of a system guy. I'm more of a am I healthy guy. I just think that happens in all sports. We see it in baseball. We see it in football. We're seeing it in basketball. So I think the answer to your question is yes from me. But I recognize there are levels to generational talent.
Right. I think we throw around that word generational too much.
That's fair.
When we go through the top, not even the top, the last 10 number 1 picks in the NBA draft, we had 8, 7 dudes that we looked at as better prospects than Cooper Flagg.
We did.
That's where I'm at. When you come at me and you tell me last episode, I would trade, I would give up my 4th and 8th pick.
I would.
To go get Cooper Flagg. I'm sitting there and I'm saying, hey, there's talent in this draft.
Yeah, there
is. And
is.
if you're a bad team and bad teams need depth, they need multiple guys. They don't need just one.
Yeah.
It makes me come into question about how generational really is this guy?
Well, who's the kid that's coming? DeBanza, you tell me about?
And
the BYU kid.
And AJ DeBanza is better.
Bro.
I'll say it to you right now.
He's ridiculous.
As a prospect, we don't know what they're going to do once they get to the NBA, right? We don't know what kind of what they have in their head, any of that stuff, their health, all of that, whatever.
We're projecting.
But as a prospect,
it's hard to argue.
It's hard to argue.
He's ridiculous.
What can Cooper do that he can't?
Nothing.
And there's a lot of things that he can do that Cooper can't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, here's one thing I'm interested to see, though. And it's unfair to the BYU kid because he's not even there yet.
Yes.
I'm telling you, maybe I'm putting too much stock in this. I need to see this March Madness run.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see if this kid's taking over games. Ountae, I'm sorry. I mean, if he gets Duke to a Final Four and he's the best player on the floor, which he should be, and he's just dominating, you don't think that changes things? I do.
Yeah, I do. Where I'm starting to get like my issue with
you
the
have
whole
doubt in that,
right? My doubt is that one, I've been a college basketball player before, so I understand the transition that Cooper is going through, that a little bit of the transition that he's going to go through when he's trying to become a pro.
Sure,
all of this stuff, right? Giannis had a similar thing, right? He came into the league thinner than Cooper, but thin, right?
Yep.
And in order to be able to play the position that they needed him to play, he had to put on weight. Cooper Flagg sits here at 205 today.
Right.
At 6'9". That's a thin frame.
Yeah, it is.
I played at 205 in college at 6'4".
Yeah.
So that's a thin guy.
You were bodying too. You was a bodying that. You was a bodying kid. I've seen the tape. You was bodying.
Chill. But all right. But look, so for Cooper, in order to play, which I think he's going to have to be a 3-4 in the league, and he's tracks to be a guy that can switch 1 through 5, he has to put on strength. He has to put on weight. We've seen how Tatum's jumper changed throughout the years. When he was a rookie, it was a lot more smooth and fluid and stuff like that. And now it looks a little less fluid. I wouldn't say that it's not fluid. He's still a good shooter.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Same thing with Giannis. When he came into the league, he could actually shoot the basketball.
That's right.
He was a decent shooter.
Yeah.
But then as he had to put on all that weight and muscle, now we look at Giannis as a non-shooter. You know what I mean?
That's
and
fair.
he's getting better as a shooter now, learning how to shoot with the weight and the muscle that he has now.
Yeah.
But we still look at him as a non-threat out there consistently, right?
Agreed.
We don't know what's going to happen with that transition with Cooper Flagg. He's going to be asked to put on more weight. He's going to be asked to increase the tempo on his jumper, right? Because right now it's college. Dudes aren't as athletic. He's tall. He's 6'9" in the college game. You know what I mean? So he has time to shoot and do the slow, methodical, get it up there and, take your time.
Sure.
He's not going to have as much of that time in the league. So I'm nervous about the fact that his shot creation isn't that as good as it's supposed to be right now, which can be taught. His shooting is not where it's supposed to be. The numbers, yes, I hear the numbers. Over 40%, blah, 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 all that other stuff.
He can work
but
on
you have to understand, are those NBA shots that he's getting every single time? A lot of them are not, right? But he's still a decent shooter. But will that still translate when he adds 10 pounds, when he adds 15 pounds? We'll have to see, right? So I'm nervous about those things at Cooper Flagg as a prospect.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about where I think his ceiling is. I think a lot of people like you think he could be a number one guy on a championship team. I personally don't. I don't see his ceiling being there.
You see him being like a second fiddle?
I see him being a second, or maybe even third guy, which is fine.
Yeah,
Paul George is a second.
Yeah.
Paul George is a second or third fiddle. He's still NBA Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's still a top 75
There's no
guy.
shame in that.
But when we're talking about generational,
it's not generational, right?
That's not generational.
You almost see him like a Klay Thompson type,
right? Exactly.
Career.
He's a Klay. He's a PG. I think he has winning qualities. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's a bum. I think that he can help a team win. But I am a little nervous about the fact that he is not really on a team where he can really just do his thing. Him being on Duke is holding him back.
I tell you what. Well, that's anyone at Duke. I tell you what. I'm on Tankathon right now.
Yes.
Because I was just curious. Here's a top 10 NBA draft lottery simulator, right?
Yep.
I'm going to give these to you quick, and then we're going to move on. Wizards 1 right now would have the best pick, their best chance at getting the number 1 pick. Jazz behind them. Pelly's behind them. Hornets behind them. Raptors at 5. 76ers at 6 is scary hours. Brooklyn at 7. Chicago at 8. Portland at 9. I don't know why. My gut says Portland or the 10th team, the Spurs, are going to get them. I don't know why. Something in my gut is like Portland or San Antonio.
Let me say this because I know we're running out of time.
I don't like Philly. I don't like that.
Them with the 6.
I don't like
in the 6th spot. They have a 9% chance right now to go up and move to the 1 seed.
I don't like that one bit.
Top 3 teams have a 14% chance. They got a 9. He could end up.
I don't like it.
In Philly. Joel Embiid, we know he's not healthy.
He's cooked.
Paul George is washed at this point.
They both
But
cooked.
him and Maxey, for the future, that might be something to build around. So I'd be paying attention to that. Obviously, the 76ers, if their pick falls out of the top 6 seeds, it will go to the Thunder. But if they end up in the top 1 through 6,
Lord have mercy,
they would retain their pick, and they could even trade up to go get Cooper Flagg. So we'll see what happens.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to make fun of Ountae for hating on Luka and the Lakers. Because so far, I've been right and he's been wrong. Red Sox spring training is here, and everyone's watching closely to see if this team is playoff bound this season. We know you have a lot of questions. Well, we're going to answer all of them on Nesson's Baseball Podcast. 310 to Left. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcasts. All right, Tay, now, it's going to be a bit dated, right?
Yes.
Luka taking on the Mavs for the first time. This game's in L.A., but at the taping of this podcast, it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
But this is too juicy to not talk about. In fact, I'll be honest with you. I mean, Tay, I got money on it. I put a bet that Luka would be the leading scorer in the game on either team.
Okay.
Minus 120. I put the bet in before the show. Okay? So this is why, it always goes back to gambling.
It does with you.
So
at least
I
with
know
you.
this is, but let's talk about Luka and the Lakers, because finally, right out of the gate there, they stumbled out of the blocks. But now it feels like the Lakers and Luka have found their footing. I think this is going to work, Tay. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they'll be a tough out. I do not believe in the finals. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
But early returns here, I think Luka and the Lakers works just fine, Mr. Neither side won this trade, or if anyone did, it's the Mavericks. No, the Lakers won the trade. I know your hoodie is the City Connect Red Sox, but those are Laker. That's a Laker yellow right there, which tells me you believe that the Lakers won the trade.
No, look, what I do like, though, is that sources are saying that Luka is a beast is awakened inside of him.
Damn right.
After the leaks from the Mavericks disparaging his weight and conditioning
Slander.
were released. So, I do like that he's kind of building up that beast.
Yeah.
I was watching the games this weekend. I watched the game against Denver, which has everyone excited. I seen NBA.com put out that the Lakers are a top 4 team in the league right now,
God.
currently in their power rankings.
Slow down.
So I'm seeing the Laker love and build up and all this other stuff.
I ain't that far.
Look, I'm still not sold on the Lakers. I love the mean Luka. Mean Luka is great. I love JJ Redick telling him to be mean.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's like villain.
But at the end of the day, I'm still not sold on them. I'm more sold on the Mavericks. Honestly, I think the Mavericks could win this game.
Oh, jeez.
And I know everyone's gonna think I'm hating, whatever. I'm not hating. I don't hate. There's no hate in my heart for the Lakers at all. I hope they do well, but at the same time, this Mavericks team has been still playing everyone close. They had a little bit of slide against the Warriors. They lost that game. I'll give you that. No AD. I'll give you that. But they got dudes that slide them puppies. And they weren't lying about that. They said, we getting dudes that are sliding them puppies. And you think Max Christie doesn't want a revenge game too? He's been hooping.
Please.
I'm not saying Max Christie's going to go out there and drop 40, but I'm saying that he's been a star in his role with the Mavericks. PJ Washington is going to go out there and do his thing. Kyrie is going to go out there and do his thing. You think he doesn't want to go out and hoop against his 2 former teammates? Kyrie's petty. Of course he's going to try to hoop against his former teammates. He's going to do what he can. This game is going to the Mavericks.
Our esteemed director, Jay, if you wouldn't mind, just time code the part of this episode so that Ountae can clip it off, because he has now lost his mind twice on the show. He has taken the Pistons to beat the C's tonight, and he's taken the Mavericks over the Lakers, in which by the next time we see you, this game would have already been played anyway. I am taking the Celtics and the Lakers in both games because I'm a genius. Now, let's get our League Pass game to watch. Tay, where you going with this one?
Look, I'm going to Thunder at Nets. I know I've talked about the Thunder. I talked about Mark Dagnall earlier on in this episode and gave him a lot of praise. But that game that they lost to the Timberwolves was a little bit disheartening. I see those Thunder fans on Twitter tweeting upset, saying they have to figure this out. They're all mad. It's one loss. It's one loss. The Timberwolves aren't a great team, but they're still a good team. I understand that they're missing Rudy Gobert, but I want to see if this Thunder team can bounce back against a Nets team that has been good lately. They can't beat the Wizards. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what's up with them not being able to beat the Wizards. It is weird. But at the same time, it's a good opportunity for them to go up against a team that has been battle-tested in recent weeks, and it's an opportunity for them to get back on the winning side on the road. It's a statement win for them, even though I know this game doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
I want to see if the Thunder are wired to bounce back and attack.
Listen, it's kind of where I'm going with my game as well. I'm going tomorrow night, actually. Warriors at the Magic. Wagner and Banchero, both in the lineup, both playing well, healthy now, presumably. I want to see them at home in a big game. And think about the Warriors' standpoint. Obviously, Butler and Steph, but that's a big game for them, too. Both of these teams are fighting for playoff seeding, just trying to get in the damn thing. So
that's going to be a good one for
That's
sure.
a big game. And I told you, I mentioned this earlier in the show. The Magic concern me, and I'm Mr. Magic. I've been all over this team for 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
But I think they could take a step back and start sliding lower in this playoff seeding in the Eastern Conference. And as I said, Warriors are just trying to get in. So this is a big game in Orlando. No excuses for the Magic, and I still think they may lose a game. We'll see, though.
We'll see.
All right, that's a wrap for us here on Hold My Banner. For the walking, talking triple-double, Ountae Campbell. And for me, just a guy, Travis Thomas. Peace out. Till next time, we ask you to hold our banner again. Peace.
See ya.